Okay, we're gonna do a driving at night video. So actually it's more like evening time. It's about 5:30 p.m. on a Sunday. But so I think somebody asked to kind of see what it was like in the evening, and I think the lighting is kind of nice right now. So let's do a little bit of a driving in the evening or driving at night for Macau.
Chiquinha, Chiquinha.
Let's go check out the road.
Chiquinha.
Okay, I'm the content creator for this channel. If you like what I'm doing, just subscribe and hit the like button. Okay, so here we are driving in the evening in Macau, and I guess we'll talk about driving a little bit and night, and yeah, just kind of give you some updates on today's date, October 10th. Let me see, I'll just let this woman go. Pedestrians have the right of way, so we should let them go. Plus the traffic looks pretty crazy. I can kind of see it already that it's not going to be easy to navigate this little space anyways. So yes, pedestrians have the right of way, so you'll see that, and let's just let them go. Especially I like to stop when I see kids in particular. I always like to stop when I see kids because I would hate to have any kind of problem where you accidentally hit a kid because you thought he you know what kids are like. Okay, so we're kind of stuck in this little rotunda. I think I'm gonna go this way because this way looks a little bit crazy. That line looks like I could be in that line for a while. Unfortunately, this one looks like I have to go left, but I'll do whatever the street signs tell me to do. So we'll go left here. I did kind of want to drive in that little dense area, but Macau is dense everywhere, so maybe for another kind of viewer it all looks dense. See if I can get around this vehicle without a problem. Okay, so yeah, we're on this what's the name of the street? Let's see if I can. But this street, I'll identify it in a minute. I think it's called Horta y Costa, Avenida do Horta y Costa, and this one has these giant, massive banyan trees. So I remember Typhoon Hato, which was 2017. There was another one, 2018. Which I guess is 4 years ago already, 3 and 4 years ago. Those trees were just destroyed. Man, that was so crazy. Just some of those trees fell down and were blocking the way, and I think it was a mess. It took them a couple days to clean it up because the entire city was destroyed. So this was just one out of many, many, many parts of the city. And the reason I'm mentioning is because we're on kind of the tail end of another typhoon today, but it was started a category 1 and then 3 2 days ago, and then yesterday it was a category 8 all day, and it wasn't really that windy, but since some of those really nasty ones, that really awful one was a direct hit, and they never went above a category 8 for that. It should have been a 10, and then the following year they called it a 10. We had a bunch of them, and one of them was really nasty, but one of them they called it a 10, and it wasn't a 10 at all. It was way weaker than the massive Typhoon Hato. But anyways, we had a 8. There's a lot of politics with how they call the categories, basically. So we had a category 8, and probably deservedly so, because there was a lot of flooding, and the winds did pick up, and I think I heard that some people passed away as well because of the storm. But the little that I've seen around the city in the last few days, and I've been out and about a little bit as well, I didn't really see anything near, not even remotely close to some of those really awful typhoons from other years. But anyways, that's basically what all this rain is about, and this street kind of reminds me of that. Usually we're not stuck in traffic this long, but I guess as long as you like the narratives, it's okay. We're going to be seeing more of the city right now because we're going to be moving along, and I'll try to get out of this little crowded space, because I think what I want to do is just make sure I'm safe here. I think I'm just going to try to get to some other areas where I can just kind of move along freely without thinking too much about the traffic. Sometimes in this area there's a lot of pedestrians and motorcycles, and they kind of come from all different directions. But luckily, because of the rain, not so many people are in the motorcycles, and there's not as many pedestrians, but there's still a lot of pedestrians, and they will go out in front of you. Pedestrians in the city of Macau have the right of way, so they will quite frequently jump out in front of you. Hopefully they look, but sometimes they don't. I'll probably capture some of that on film. If the closer I get to the border, the more of that I see. Especially when I cross into mainland China, it's kind of crazy the amount of people that walk into the traffic in the cars, and they do that here too around the border and around the casino areas where there's a lot of mainland Chinese tourists. But the Macau people don't really do that. Generally, they don't. They usually adhere to the culture of the city, which generally pretty good, I think, compared to China. They're amazing. Mainland China. Okay, looks like we're stuck in another stoplight again, but we're going to be moving in a second because it just turned green, and I'm going to be moving along quite a bit more, and we'll just keep showing you Macau in the evening and what it's like to drive in the city. I guess you're getting a pretty good view of what it's like everywhere that I go anyways, so it doesn't really matter which direction. And I'm on a parallel street to that other one, and we're going to be going towards kind of a quick way to move along. Let's get on this left side so you can see some of the pedestrian. Oh, this guy's going to turn left. Is that a mistake to be in this lane? Sometimes they park illegally, and it's kind of a headache, but he's not going to park illegally. He's just going to block the lane a little bit, I guess. Oh, this is a whole big mess. Let me just get up here. Lots of pedestrians coming across. Oh, there's the guy blocking all the traffic. There's the guy in white. Yeah, so this is pretty common. They block the traffic, and then and everybody has to get into one lane. So that's one of the things that's pretty common. And so are buses that don't get fully into their lane when they stop and pick up passengers. So they also have that issue too. So you're getting an idea of what it's like to drive in Macau. But it doesn't matter because right now we're at a green light anyways. Red light, I mean. So we're going to keep on moving and filming. And yeah, actually there's another car straight ahead that's blocking traffic too. That white one. It's all illegal. If policemen come by, they'll definitely write you a ticket. That one's moving. But there's a problem with space. So because of the problem with space, sometimes they really, really need to stop like that for a moment. So that's actually one of the other issues. And actually it's kind of interesting because you see that everywhere, and it's illegal, and there's cameras absolutely everywhere. But that's one of the things that they write fines for it, but they also overlook it quite a bit. But if you run a red light and you do that just twice in 3 years, you'll lose your license. And if you're a foreigner and you have a driver's license and you keep driving after that offense, after you lose your license, then you'll be deported pretty much immediately. And speeding is also another one you can't do. It's a little bit more lenient. I think you get to speed 3 times in 3 years. I think the stop signs it's only 2. So I got one already. So that was about a year ago, and so I'm pretty concerned about the possibility of getting another one. So but once you drive in Macau a little bit, that was when I first got my driver's license. But once you start driving around in Macau, it's pretty easy to adhere to the green lights because you know the city and you kind of know, like this area, I know they're all over the place. Okay, there's a pedestrians can jump out here. It's kind of a line for that restaurant, I guess. Yeah, actually near here there was some COVID buildings were recently quarantined. Yeah, this is what I mean by people can just jump out whenever they want. So you have to be really careful. And it's also getting kind of dark, and it's also raining. And but yeah, they can come out like that pretty easily. But actually this lane is a little bit better than other ones because this is basically a 2-lane and a 2-lane. So you can kind of see the pedestrians coming for a while, but there's a lot of little 1-lane narrow roads which are all to my right. And that can be kind of stressful when you got motorcycles. You got a small little lane. You have streets without stop signs sometimes. Some of them don't have, so basically there's crosswalks that you come to. The crosswalks are fine, but you just don't know, and people are just going to jump out in front real quick. Luckily, there's all these railings to the sides in Macau that are right next to the sidewalk, and I think that kind of is to keep the pedestrians in the sidewalks, and probably keep the cars off the sidewalks as well, in case they try to, I don't know if there's an accident or something happen, who knows. So anyways, we're at another stop sign and we're gonna keep on moving through, and you're getting an idea of what it's like to drive in Macau at night, and we're gonna just keep on strolling. Please don't step into the road. Okay, thank you. That's what I worry about right there. I had the right of way, but there's another person illegally parked. That one looks like their lights are off and everything like that. Like they're just okay. So this is kind of what it's like to drive in Macau at night. And let's see, we're on Avenida de Uvidor Riga, I think it says. I can't really read it very well on the side. But we're gonna take a right. There's different ways we could go. I think I'm just gonna keep driving in the way that I'm driving, and I think the car will start moving along a lot faster once we turn right here. And then we're gonna move along, and you can get a better idea of what it's like driving in Macau at night. And I got about 5% of my battery left, so I think I'm just gonna let it go out until the battery runs. So we'll see how that goes. If suddenly it stops, that's why. If it does stop, it's probably long enough. And I gotta say, that building right in front of me looks pretty cool. I like those kind of blocky windows with those little balconies everywhere and kind of big windows. Okay, here we go. Straight ahead is Hope Clinic. I think that clinic is whoa lady, you're right in the, sometimes they pop out anywhere, right? So you never really know. I wanted to get in the left lane, but I have a motorcycle right to my left, so I'm going to stay in this lane. And I think there's a police right in front of me, motorcycle. So what are we at? 4%. So I don't have much more time, but we'll just keep on going. You can see the weather right there and the humidity. You see that? 97% humidity, or 97% rain, chance of rain, I mean. 24% C. Usually they have the humidity up there too, but oh yeah, there it is, humidity, 97%. I heard somebody say that the rain was like 100%, which I hadn't heard before, but I don't know if there might have been a joke. So when I saw 97, I was like, oh, maybe it is almost like 100% chance of rain today. I still got that guy just right in my blind spot too. I want to get in his lane, but I don't know if he'll let me. Usually the motorcyclists try to get around you, so usually, oh, he has so much stuff on his motorcycle, he actually has to slow down. But usually they'll often go between the traffic and between the cars, which can be not so good, because as a driver, they're hard to see where they're all at, right? But again, because of the rain, there's not so much of so now the bus is going to stop in this lane, so I need to get around it, so I need to get back in the right lane again, which is one of the frustrations of driving. And now that one's going, and the buses to the left of me are, dang it. Okay. Well, you get to see what it's like to drive in Macau. It's kind of like that. Actually, these buses are going to stop right here to the left anyways, so it's actually good that I got in this lane. But of course, some of the buses are going to go around, like this 19 bus. And yeah, it looks like we got like 3% left, so I don't think I have much more time with the battery. But I think it's good because we don't really need a real long video anyways. It's a little bit tricky. We got a bicyclist. He looks like he's prepared for the rain. And you got those little guards for the pedestrians to stay on that side, so that bicyclist is kind of sandwiched up a little bit. I wouldn't want to be a bicyclist in Macau. There's already enough stuff happening with motorcycles going pretty much everywhere. The bicycles are pretty slow, so when you're in a car, you have to try your best to try to get around them, and the roads are pretty narrow, so it's not so easy. And I'm going to try to get around them right now. Okay. So yeah, we're still got our battery going. 3% still, amazing. Okay, that's good. We're gonna see how far we can get. We're gonna try to get all the way to the Macau Tower with a battery. So we'll see if we can do it. And it's going to be pretty close, but I think it's going to probably get to that, but it could go off at any minute, maybe even any second, especially if we get red lights like this. But I think this one's going to turn in a second. Let me see if I can go around the bus. Okay, so now we're still at 3%. Wow. So okay, there's a San Francisco Garden to the left. There's a little red and white kiosk. I think that has a little library now, but I think that used to be where the policemen used to be posted in those places, and I think back in the Portuguese era. So now that era is gone. Yeah, we're kind of going through Macau right now, so you get an idea of what it's like to drive around in Macau in the evening. It's 5:49 exactly at this moment. Okay, and we're moving along. That green bus seems to be really, really into my lane, way more than I'd like. And I guess it's because he wants to get into my lane. Okay, well, let's get in his lane. This is another pedestrian crossing, so a lot of times pedestrians will jump out in here. Here's one right now. I'll stop for him, and then we'll go across. Okay, what are we at now? We're at still at 3 minutes of the battery. Amazing. That's really amazing. Because it jumped. I think I started this at like 10 or 11%, so that's kind of incredible that it's still at 3%. Okay, so we are still moving along. And we're still driving along in Macau, showing you what it's like to drive in the evening. It's raining softly. The lights are just about right. I kind of have a straight ahead is Senado Square, which is quite beautiful at night. I film it somewhat often. I don't know if some people think maybe not enough. Sometimes I feel like too much, but I think because there's so much to see in Macau. But that's it's a beautiful spot to be in the evening at this time of the night. Okay, let's see. We're going to be in view of the Macau Tower shortly, which is one of the goals that I was hoping to do before the camera battery dies. And yeah, now we're kind of opening up, so you get a little bit of variation in Macau. You can see how it changes a little bit in different places. Actually, right now we're on something called Avenida de Praia Grande, which is the street avenue of the big beach or large beach. Oh, the camera died, but I just pulled over for a moment, changed the battery because I kind of think you want to see that Macau Tower. So, and I think you might be able to see it through the trees. Just lift that up a little bit so you can see it. Let's see. You can see it. I'm focusing on the road, so I can't look at the camera right now. And but we're back on the road. And I think what I'm going to do is I just want to drive into the Macau side a little bit. Sorry, Taipa side, over the bridge. There's the Macau Tower, the one that we were trying to aim for anyways, and we made it. And a light just came on as we passed by. Oh, that motorcycle, that one just about skipped a beat there. They hit some kind of bump and it kind of like moved the bike over just a tiny little bit. Okay, so we're going to take the bridge and then we'll probably conclude this video shortly. We'll definitely conclude it shortly. But it's worth going over the bridge first because it's kind of pretty. First time to see it, especially, it's quite. I was pretty amazed when I first moved to Macau and taking these bridges and just the views from them and just the skyline and things like that. Looks like we can't see the skyline. The lights are behind me, and the Taipa side isn't lit up so much at the moment as it will be later. But we'll leave the camera on anyways because you never really know what you're going to see, right? So yeah, we're taking the bridge towards Taipa. So yeah, you got to see pretty big variation of Macau And I think I'll just leave the camera going. I think it's kind of interesting for some people just to see what it's like driving anyways. And so we'll just keep going with it at the time, for the time being. And that way we kind of get to show you some other parts of the city and you get to see a little bit more of Macau. I saw a helmet on the side of the road. Somebody's helmet must have flew off their motorcycle. Hopefully not off of their head. Never know where a helmet might come from. And at the moment, I need to get in the left lane, but I'm not sure if I want to be behind the bus. But I guess I'm going to be behind the bus anyways. So yeah, we got some good footage of driving today, so you get to see what it's like to drive at night in Macau. Straight ahead is Ocean Gardens, and also Ocean Gardens is where the light rail, MLRT is at? Macau Light Rail Transit. It's above ground, and it's kind of cool actually. I have been there a few times. Yeah, Taipa is where all the casinos are at, so I know a lot of people are interested in that. I'm not going to drive all the way down to that spot right now, but I will drive into Taipa a little bit, give you a little view of that. At the moment we're going to be driving, we're in the northern part of Taipa, and I got to kind of make sure I'm safely merging into this road. Okay, there we go. You can see Macau skyline a little bit to the left. And then also to the left there's some people that do running and skateboarding and jogging and kids playing and stuff like that. Actually, it's a pretty nice little space for kids, I think, because a lot of families live in Ocean Gardens to the right of me. And then they can come over here and enjoy the waterfront. But I think that waterfront is changing quickly because they're building. Macau reclaims a lot of their land. They take land from the ocean and convert it into more buildings, basically. They put dirt on it and build more. So they're building right between here and the Macau side, so it'll affect that view quite a bit. I hope they do something nice and interesting and cool with it. I feel a little pessimistic about it because you just never really know. But Macau generally has some pretty interesting stuff everywhere, so I'm hoping that it's equally interesting as well, but you just never really know. Sometimes in this modern era they build, they sell a big plot of stuff for a developer and they just create all apartment buildings and they don't really develop much more than just that. So I kind of feel like they might do that, like exclusive expensive properties for people who would have those kind of views at that spot, but we'll see. There'll be something there in the future anyways, and then it'll be strange, all these videos where you don't see it. So okay, we're coming into Taipa. Get the camera going, make it into a little bit of a long video, but some people like those driving videos, so we're going to try to accommodate that, and then that way people get to see this side too. Taipa is more well, I think basically it came about in the 1980s. So they built the first bridge. There's 3 bridges that connect the Macau side with the Taipa side. Taipa is kind of like an island. Now it's an island connected with Koloan, but it's still an island. And 3 bridges connected to the Macau side now. And the first bridge was built in 1974, I believe. So then in the 80s they built all these tall buildings everywhere. So so basically what we're looking at is the results of that. And I guess at the beginning they were kind of empty, and people would kind of joke about how few lights there are that were on, in this area with all these tall buildings everywhere. But now they're pretty much all occupied, and whoever owns them, each one is made a lot of money. It's actually amazing the amount of wealth that's in Macau based on real estate alone. Okay, so let's just see here. Lots of roundabouts. We're going to go down another roundabout momentarily. And I'm going to be looking for some parking space over here in Taipa also momentarily. You'll see when I get there, of course. Yeah, the lighting is just about right, so maybe it's kind of a good time to see some of this. There's going to be another massive building right here to the left. That'll be interesting when that's fully built. It'll give this area a canyon feel. I like it though. I like that kind of stuff. I like the density of Macau. I like it a lot, actually. Love it. Just kind of puts you up to, makes it so you have like tons of restaurants and tons of stuff, all really accessible, which I really like a lot. Say if you pass away and you go to heaven and you create your own living arrangements on the other side, I think I wouldn't mind living in some massive urban, whatever the massive urban development that people imagine, conjure up to live in would be pretty cool to me. Okay, so I'm gonna look for some parking down here if I can find some. So yeah, this is Taipa, and we're going towards Taipa village, and there's a parking lot I'm going to park at up here if I can get one. If I can't get a spot, I'll just keep going and I'll just keep filming and kind of show you more of Macau. But yeah, let me just see. I'm going to try to park in here, but I don't think I see any spaces, and I just saw a van that's see how many illegally parked vehicles there are in here. Here's one that's standing there blocking the way, so he's probably one. So that's one illegally parked vehicle. And there's another illegally parked vehicle straight ahead too, so probably those two are probably competing for whatever space comes open. Yeah, he's sitting there in his vehicle, so in that case, we'll just keep in the car and keep filming. Might have some big, massive, long video. It's okay though. A lot of different directions I could go. Could go to the left right here, which I was kind of thinking about. Oh, no, I can't because there's a car blocking that space. Yeah, this is Taipa village right here, but we're blocked with that space, so we're gonna navigate into here, and now you get to see a little bit more. There's Galaxy Casino, so now you get to see the casinos straight ahead, behind that colonial pink building. Okay, so I could go straight, and then I kind of go through a cool little area up there. Maybe I'll do that. I could also go follow that car. I think I'm going to follow this one because it's maybe interesting. To be honest, both ways would have been interesting, but I can also park up here too, so I'm going to look for some parking, and that'll be good for me because I want to park in this area a little bit. And then we get to see this little space in the camera, which might be kind of interesting as well. There's somebody dancing to their... That's funny. I guess they got their phone up and they're doing a little dancing. Okay, so now we're kind of at the museum houses. Straight ahead, you can go up to that overpass. That's a Grande Praia up there. That up on the mountain thing. And to the right is the museum houses, Taipa houses, sorry. I think they're kind of made into different stuff, a bookstore, museum, stuff like that. Oh, that pump was not so easy to take. And I need to go, I want to park in this area. I think if nobody's behind me, I'm going to park right in this area right here. we go. So hope you like that one. Driving Macau at nighttime, and now you're in front of the Taipa houses. Should I take the camera out there and just show you a little bit? Maybe I will.
注意，2米。
Okay, so we're out of the car and we're just gonna walk. There's Galaxy Casino over that way. I'm just gonna show you where we ended up at. And I think a lot of people want to see the casinos because they're interested in Macau and they want to see different things like that. So we're gonna show you the casinos right from over here as well. So yeah, it's nighttime now. Mak and family. Pretty interesting. Yeah, usually I do walking videos, so if you've been watching the driving video and you like it, you can also see me doing some of the walking videos too. And we're on Avenida de Praia. This is the type of houses right here, so we basically we went behind it. Those are the type of tall skyscraper buildings over there and over there as well. And then we have all the casino strip over here as well. And yeah, lots of flooding today, post typhoon. And so let me just kind of go through these casinos. That's all Galaxy right there. That is still Galaxy. All that's Galaxy. Then this is all Venetian right here. And that's Londoner right there. City of Dreams, Morpheus, Cotai apartment building. But those are all casinos. And there's a hiking trail up there. You can see it up. Looks like they have it lit with some street lights up there. Okay, hope you like this one.
Chiquinha, Chiquinha.